On today's episode, we're going to use hot tar to make tar paper roof. Nah, we're just going to use black construction paper. Welcome everyone, I'm Jason Jensen and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains, where I welcome all modelers into my shop and show you firsthand how I do model railroading. In today's episode, we are going to make a tar paper roof using black construction paper. In the example I'm going to show you, I use a gray primer to spray it. If you don't want to use spray paint, you can simply brush on a gray acrylic paint. You can go as light or as dark as you want to. So let's go over to the workbench and get started. So for this project, you're going to need a piece of black construction paper. I bought mine at Michael's. You could also get it at Hobby Lobby, and I bought an entire pad of it. I believe it had 50 sheets in it, which will last me a very long time. You could also buy it at Target or Walmart. Those places are going to have it, but it's going to be in a variety pack, and it's going to have other colors in with it. So once you get your sheet of black paper, you're going to want to spray paint it. I spray painted it using a gray primer. Then once that was dry, I spray painted this side of it with black, a flat black. And I misted it so that it's not a solid coverage. Then what you're going to want to do is every 3/8 of an inch make a small little cut on both sides. Then we will start to cut all of our strips. Again, it is every 3/8 of an inch. Now that all of your strips are cut, you're going to want to take a scrap piece of wood. This is actually cut from a paint stir stick, and put one of the strips on the edge of it. Then using sandpaper, 220 grit, you're going to want to sand the edge of it. And you can go back and forth. So you're wearing off the spray paint and taking it down to the black construction paper. And this is just basically weathering it. If you want some of the pieces a little more tattered on the edges, you can pick away at it with the end of your blade. So I will begin to sand all these pieces and rough them up, and then we'll move on to the next step. I went ahead and cut some strips from the side that was spray painted with the flat black. And we'll just do the same on these. We'll just sand them. Eventually you have to get another piece of wood because you want a nice 90-degree angle on it, a sharp edge. It starts to get rounded from sanding it, so then you can flip it over, use that side for a while, but then eventually you'll have to get a new piece of wood. So the black strips are pretty neat because when you sand it, the gray primer starts to show through. I will show you here in a second. Next, we're going to apply the tar paper to the rooftop. Now, because this is a white structure, I have painted the overhang on the bottom side white, and then the edge of the roof material also white. Next, I'm going to lay out the strips so I sort of know what it's going to look like, and I'll roughly tear them the correct length. This will give me an idea of A, what it'll look like, and B, how many I'll actually need. Okay. Now we will use full strength white Elmer's glue. And we'll do enough for maybe 2 strips at a time, because it does dry pretty fast. So you don't want to cover the entire piece with glue, because it'll dry and then you'll just have to re-glue it. I'm using a pretty ragged piece on the edge for the edge piece. You want it to hang over just a little bit, and it'll definitely hang over on the sides, and we'll trim it after we're all done. Now what we can do is tear a piece, one of the gray pieces. We'll glue that on. Then we'll take one of the black pieces and glue on another piece. This will give it the illusion that it was patched at one point in time. If you want to, with a pencil and a ruler, you could draw guidelines on there so that you don't start to get too crooked when you're gluing these on. Now, because we have a thin piece, I will cut one of the strips in half. Now we'll simply turn it over and use our ruler and cut off all the extra. And there is our tar paper roof. Now we can add some dirt using our pastel chalks. We'll do a dark brown and a little bit of a medium brown. And you can see the brush I'm using is pretty short. Pretty stubby little brush. So most of the dirt is going to be on the edges and along the bottom edge of the roof. So we'll streak it down on both ends. And then we'll do quite a bit at the bottom. Then wherever it's torn, we can start in that little area and just streak it straight down. Now I'm going a little bit more with a rust color, just to add a little variety to it. And that'll mostly be right at the bottom. If you want it to look even more rough and aged, you can simply go in and lift up some of the paper. Some areas, as you can see, it's already glued, so now let's add just a little detail to it. A simple little detail. It's a strip of wood that we're going to glue on top of it, as if the tar paper was lifting, wouldn't stay down, so they just simply tacked a piece of wood over it. You can see I dirtied it up a little bit with some pastel chalks, and you can go heavier with some dark brown or blacks right at the very ends of it. Then with a sharp number 2 pencil, we're going to make some nail holes. So I wanted to share with you another example of tar paper roofing. And this is tar paper that I applied to a Foscale model kit. So you can see by using different shades, it gives it the appearance that it's been patched before. And on this roof, I put them side by side and end to end, then used a black Sharpie to draw my tar lines. And here is another example of the black tar paper. And again, this is just using the black construction paper, just like I demonstrated. So here you can see I've patched the roof with some metal sheeting, which is actually just brown construction paper. And then I used a drinking straw for a smokestack, and again placed some strip wood on there to make it look like it's been patched. On this model, for the tar paper, I used brown construction paper. And then simply weathered it with dark brown and black pastel chalks. After all the construction paper was glued on, I took 220 grit sandpaper and simply dragged it down just to weather the edges of the paper. You could use different colored construction paper. Probably a dark green would work too. Or you could use a tan construction paper. I just simply cut these into little pieces and glued them on. Then after everything was dry, I dry brushed over it with an off-white. Hope you enjoyed today's video. This is a very easy project that can be done in an evening. And again, you don't have to use spray paint. You can brush on any color acrylic paint that you want to. And then once you sand it, the black of the paper will show through, which gives it a nice textured, weathered look. Well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to click on the bell to be notified when I upload more videos. Thank you for everyone that has already subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your continued support, and until next time, happy modeling.